I just want to say this. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Another thing, everybody can sit down. Please sit down. I want to thank everybody for coming here, supporting me. I want to thank all the delegates, the senators that are here for me, my husband that's here for me, our new county councilman, Tony Campbell. I want to thank him. But I want to tell you a little bit about me. One of the reasons why I got into this race was years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, a bill passed the General Assembly, and I didn't like the bill. And it was where you committed a crime as a child. And I'm saying a 16-year-old, 15-year-old. They said if you stayed in jail a certain amount of time,
Can't hear you.
they'd say if you stayed in jail a certain amount of time, after you've committed a murder, you're going to be released. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you something. I've had that bill affect me 4 different times. Not once, not twice, 4 times. And you know what? I followed the career of these little criminals. All right? That's all they are. They're criminals. And guess what? They have records. One boy is still in prison. If that boy ever gets out, he's going to murder again. And I know it. I already know it. He actually made the statement when the judge was at sentencing. He said, David, he said, you were 15 when you killed these 2 people. What are you going to do? David's response was, I have a gun, I have a car, and there's 7-Elevens along the way. I also have a friend of mine that her daughter's husband is a cellmate of David's. David's up in Cumberland, okay? I keep an eye on what he's doing. Guess what? David hasn't changed. He gets out, he'll kill again. So when you see things like this happening, you want to change the world, all right? Another thing is, Pat was talking about Dr. Williams. Down in Annapolis, you know, when they're doing their budget, you have these different people from different organizations, whether it's the school board, they come down begging for money, they have these little begathons and all this, and they want to talk to you. Well, Dr. Williams makes $300,000 a year, and guess what? He hasn't visited Annapolis yet. Now, wait a minute. No. You want to talk, I don't want to do Zoom, I want to meet, I want to meet you in person. You come to my office and talk. We're not going to do that, Dr. Williams, because you know what? I will make sure of it. And if you don't, I will call you out on it. And I won't be polite about it. I don't go and make these stories up. I will not be polite about it. I'm not going to have Dr. Williams sitting there disrespecting our legislators while he's asking for money for his schools. I just will not do that. Another thing that I'm really upset about, all the CRT, there's no place for critical race theory in the schools, and there's also no place to go and sit there and to teach young children sex ed from the 1st grade, from the kindergarten to the 3rd grade. Children should be learning about Santa Claus. They shouldn't be learning. I will put in a bill that is eliminated. Totally. Not what we're having right now in Baltimore County. And when you're a legislator, you don't go and speak just for Baltimore County. You speak for the state of Maryland. You know, I have my community first, but I also speak with the state. I am not having these classes. What? I am not having. Thank you. I am not having. Okay. I'm speaking, please. I am not having these type of things, these type of programs taught in our school system. There's no reason for it, and I will make sure that I will put a law in that will do it, and I will have the support. Somebody earlier said about how these legislators sit there and they're being bullied to and cowed down to. Well, no, you know, and you have to stand up to them, you really do. But something that happened to me that was very, very interesting. About a week ago, everybody knows I go to Rural Farm. Love the place. And I had somebody walk up to me, and it was a person from a certain district, maybe I'm in it right now. And I met this legislator, and I said to him, and I'll tell you right now, he was not a Democrat. I mean, he was not a Republican. And I said to him, how did you vote on the abortion bill? I voted for it. How did you vote on, you know, this bill? How did you vote on the marijuana bill? I voted for it. And I'm saying, okay, you voted for it. Now, let me ask you a question. You want to legalize marijuana. You want to make abortions available to everybody. Maryland's going to be the abortion mill of all the states. Everybody will be coming here to Maryland to have abortion, and you are going to be the taxpayers paying for it. Nobody else. You are going to be paying for it because it's going to be coming out of Medicaid, is it? Medicare. Yeah, it's going to be a fund, and you are all funding that fund. You know, so think about that. And then to have these people, somebody like me, I could be trained to give an abortion. Do you honestly want somebody like me to give an abortion?
No.
Yeah. Let me talk to you about that abortion bill. Let me talk to you about that. There are no insurance regulations in place. So I perform an abortion, that person dies, guess what? Can't sue me. Yeah. So, you know, what's going to happen? You're going to have women dying. You're going to have women dying. Then, anyway, I want to get back to this legislator from, I'm not going to say the name, but I think he's from this district, Democrat. So then he told me about the marijuana bill, and I said to him, I said, so-and-so, tell me about this marijuana bill. He said, and I said, I would have never voted for that. He said, well, you don't understand. Jones takes us in the back room. Jones takes us, and he's talking about Adrian Jones, and she tells us how to vote. Wait a minute. It's the people that live in this district that are paying your salary. Jones doesn't live here. She doesn't vote here. What does she know what your people want? Why are you voting with her? The next question, I looked at him and I said, let me ask you a question. When I know there's an age limit on legalizing marijuana, it's going to be legal on the streets, and you know, there's a certain age limit that you can do it legally. And he said yes. And I said, but you know what, that doesn't mean anything. I said, that means nothing. So when that 16-year-old goes out and steals mommy's car, and he has an accident, and he kills your wife, you know, he kills your wife and your daughter, what are you going to think about that? What do you think about that? You know, one of these kids are going to be driving reckless, because they're going to be driving at 16, you know. You had 2 students the other day in school, last week in Baltimore City. They were 12 and 13, they were stealing cars. So what makes me think that this marijuana bill is going to stop a 16-year-old from driving their parents' cars? And this is what's going to happen. If that happens and there's an accident and the police catches that 16-year-old, all they're going to do is call their mother, and they're going to say, all the police are going to do is call their mother, and what they're going to say is, I didn't know they took my car. And guess what? That teen goes away for free. Nothing happens. Nothing's going to. We need to put laws in place where everybody's protected, everybody's safe. The marijuana thing, that has to go. And you have to fight stupid bills like this in order to get things in order to get things properly done. You need somebody that's going to fight for that. And even though our Republicans fought for it, they need to fight a little bit harder. I've listened to the testimonies. I've listened to what they were saying. And sometimes you need to take the other side out and talk with them and make your points, because Adrian Jones, she'll sit there and cut your microphone off. Adrian, you know what? You're not going to cut my microphone off, and you know what? I have a voice.
Yeah.
And I will use that voice. I don't care who you are. You want to come up, you want to deal with me, I'll take you on. I don't have a problem with that. One of the things that's also bothering me is if you have a small business, they have a bill in Annapolis where if you work for 528 hours, you can collect unemployment. Sounds like a lot of time, doesn't it? It's less than a month. You work for 1 month and you can collect unemployment. Now, in my district, we have a lot of towing people, all right? We have Sullivan's Towing. We have some of the best towers in our district. Now, what that means is, the fellow Sullivan's Towing, he's going to go hire a tower, train him, and then all of a sudden, it's family paid leave is what I'm talking about. He's going to train this guy, and say he's all through training, and after he goes through training, the first day of work, he has a family member get sick. Guess what? He gets to go on family paid leave for 6 months. And guess what? We gotta pay. Is it gonna cost our expenses and our bills and everything to go up? Yes, every time we need a tow, it's going to go up. And what it's gonna cause is a lot of businesses are gonna go out of business because of stupid laws like this passed by the Maryland legislature. Another thing in our district is we have a wonderful school called EVT, it's an Eastern Vocational School. I would like to bring funding to that school, and I'll tell you why I would like to bring funding to it. It's a vocational school, it's a wonderful school, but I would like to build onto that school because some of the programs, they have a nursing program there, they have a chef's program there, they have different types of programs like that. But one thing that I noticed is, in our district, they have a lot of auto mechanics, they have a lot of towers, and we don't have an auto shop there. And a lot of people like to go and build cars. A lot of people work on cars. And when you're talking about working shortages, we need young mechanics. Young mechanics can go into diesel, to work on diesel trucks. They can go everywhere. One of those classes costs you thousands and thousands of dollars. Why not take the young, put them in a vocational technical school, let them get their training there first, go out to work study, and create a job. You know, this is the type of programs that you need that are not being talked about. We need them in our county, and as a delegate, I am going to make sure that EVT will have the money, which is in my district, to go and build and have these programs. Another one is cosmetology. People make great money doing hair. They make great money doing nails. But you know what? The problem is young people have to pay for the classes. The classes can go anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Why not have that person in school, give that person that chance to be in school and learn a trade? That is very, very important. And I don't think people really think about it until you see the necessities and the needs of the different businesses. Another thing I will do as a delegate in Annapolis, I will not vote for any tax increases. My husband for 16 years never voted for one. I don't believe in taxes increases. There's always ways to go and fund things. All you have to do is look at them and be creative. And I think that's important for people to know that about me. As you know, one of the dumbest taxes that they've ever done in Maryland was the rain tax.
Yep.
I couldn't tell you how many businesses in Essex, in Middle River, in Dundalk, in Sparrows Point, that Pat did one side of the street and I did the other side of the street, talking to business owners. Okay, let's eliminate that tax. Guess what? Pat talked with Governor Hogan. They left it up to the county executives. Kevin Kamenetz was the county executive at that time, and he said, okay, we're going to eliminate it. But before they could even eliminate it, there were many businesses that went out because they couldn't afford it, and they had to pay for it anyway. So when you see dumb taxes like this, you're going to vote against them. And if you send me to Annapolis, I will definitely work for you because, number one, you are my constituents, and I'm not only going to be working for you because you're here, but I'm going to be working for the people of the state of Maryland. They're the ones that are going to be paying my salary. They're the ones that are going to make sure that I do the right thing. And when somebody in Annapolis is doing something wrong, I have a mouth. I will let you know. And I'm not playing games with the Democrats or the liberals in Annapolis. Make no mistake about it. I will not play.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming. And had somebody here I couldn't. Hi, Dr. Jack. Anyway. Yeah, we have Dr. Jack Gordon wants to say a word.
Hi.
Hey, Dr. Jack.
Two things. One is just listening to Valerie. Look at the number of things that she knows. And that's what you need. I mean, Pat said something about that, about she's already, an advocate. Now, the second thing, and just quickly, I'm a physician. And to educate paraprofessionals to do abortions in this state is one of the more stupid and ignorant laws that I could imagine. And she is.
That's right.
By the way, Dr. Jack was my doctor. Thank you. Everything works.
And he let her.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming here today. I want to thank everybody for helping me donate to my campaign. I do have yard signs. We're getting ready to go into our second phase of our campaign. You know, if you need me, you need lawn signs, you need anything, you call me. Our phone number is 410-238-0025. We'll also be on radio tonight. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll be on radio tonight, so tune in tonight from 8 to 10 p.m. Super Citizen Radio, featuring my husband, and I'm the sidekick. So, pardon?
Pope will be on.
Yes, and Pat said the Pope will be on. I don't want to talk to the Pope. Anyway, thank you guys, and I want to thank one of our good friends, Ron Savage, is here today.
Hey, everybody, how you doing? I just want to make a
And
footnote.
my
That's
good friend.
the footnote is AM 680 WCBM at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My good friend over here, Tim. Wave over. I always forget that you're here. I do, I see you. I forget the name. I have problems with the name. She always laughs. She's my good friend, though. Thank you.
Yay.
And thank everybody. So, that's it. I don't know if the buffet's still up because I haven't been there yet. Thank you.
Yay.